4:45 p.m. We'd like to call the special meeting of the Board of Commissioners for October 13th. To order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Roach?
Here.
Mr. Haynes?
Here.
Mr. Powers? Here. Mr. Ahale? Here. Mayor May?
Here we do have a quorum present. We have one item of business to be first reading on ordinance. City of Frankfort providing insurance to the obligation bonds. And I will read it by title. Just bear with me.
Summary is the
What page is it? Okay. Nope. What page is it?
the summary is the first 3 pages.
Need a little water?
Let me read. I got to read the title. The ordinance of the City of Frankfort, Kentucky, providing for the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, Series 2014, for the purpose of providing funds to pay the cost of a new municipal aquatic recreational center, related facilities, setting forth the terms and conditions upon which the Series 2014 bonds are to be issued and outstanding, ordering and providing for the levy of an annual tax to the extent necessary, sufficient to pay the interest on and principal of the Series 2014 bonds, providing for public sale of the Series 2014 bonds, the application of the proceeds thereof, and approving related documents and actions. Summary as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of providing funds to pay a portion of the city's cost of construction, acquisition, and installation of a new 110,000 square foot municipal aquatic recreational center. Related facilities located on a site within Juniper Hill Park at 800 Louisville Road, Frankfort, Kentucky. The project and paying related costs, the city authorizes the sale and issuance of its $4,780,000, subject to adjustment, general obligation bonds, Series 2014, the Series 2014 bonds, under authority of the Kentucky Constitution and KRS Chapter 66. Series 2014 bonds will be payable from the tax revenues of the city and secured by an irrevocable pledge of the full faith, credit, and taxing power of the city. Series 2014 bonds are scheduled to mature on December 1st, 2015 through 2040 and to bear interest annually at rates established by competitive bidding. Redemption provisions, together with the form of the Series 2014 bonds, provisions with respect to registration, authentication, transfer, and exchange of Series 2014 bonds, and provisions relating to the appointment and duties of a paying agent and bond registrar are set out in detail in the ordinance. The Series 2014 bonds will be issued in book entry form. Subsection 2. As mandatorily required by Section 159 of the Kentucky Constitution, the ordinance levies annually such special tax, separate and apart from all other taxes, as may be necessary to provide for the payment of the Series 2014 bonds and the interest thereon, from due and payable, such tax to be applicable to all property which is subject to taxation for city purposes from time to time, and being unlimited as to rate or amount. In accordance with KRS 83A.060 sub 9 sub C, the following text of Article 13 of the ordinance is set out in full. Article 13, tax levy and pledge bond fund for the purpose of providing funds required to pay the interest of the Series 2014 bonds, as and when the interest becomes due, and in order to create a sinking fund to pay and discharge the principal thereof, as the Series 2014 bonds become due, there shall be and there is hereby levied upon all the taxable property within the city beginning in 2015 and continuing each year as long as any of the Series 2014 bonds are outstanding, a direct annual tax sufficient to the extent any other lawfully available monies of the city are not provided for that purpose as mandatorily required by Section 159 of the Constitution of Kentucky, and such tax shall be unlimited as to rate or amount. The proceeds derived from said special annual tax levied from time to time, together with other lawfully available monies of the city provided for the purpose, shall be deposited and carried in the bond fund, which shall constitute a special and separate account in the name of the city, and held apart from all other funds of the city, and any and all funds contained therein shall be applied only for the purpose of paying the principal of and interest on the Series 2014 bonds. The proceeds of said special annual tax and any other funds accumulated from time to time in the bond fund are hereby irrevocably pledged for the purpose of paying the interest on and principal of the Series 2014 bonds and shall never be used for any other purpose. The city hereby covenants with the holders of the Series 2014 bonds that it will levy said special annual tax in each year at whatever rates may be necessary from time to time in order to produce the amounts required in each year to the extent funds are not otherwise provided, to pay the Series 2014 bonds and interest when and as they mature or become due. The principal or interest should fall due in any year at a time when there are insufficient funds on hand collected by reason of the foregoing special tax levy. Such principal and interest shall be paid from other available funds of the city, and reimbursement therefore shall be made out of the special tax hereby provided when the same shall have been collected. All monies held in the bond fund, which shall be depleted as of December 2 of each year, except for a carryover amount not exceeding the greater of the earnings on the bond fund, for 1/12 of the principal and interest payments on the Series 2014 bonds for the preceding year ending December 1, to the extent not invested as hereinafter provided, shall be deposited in a bank or banks which are members of the FDIC, and all such deposits which cause the aggregate deposits of the city in any one bank to be in excess of the amount insured by FDIC shall be continuously secured by a valid pledge of direct obligations to the United States of America having an equivalent market value. All or any part of the bond fund may be invested in investment obligations maturing or being subject to retirement at the option of the holder on such dates as the same may be needed for meeting interest and or principal payments, and all such investments shall be carried to the credit of the bond fund. Section 3 provides provision is made for the transfer to the city's general fund of revenues of the system to reimburse the general fund for payment of semi-annual debt service on the Series 2014 bonds. Subsection 4. The competitive sale of the Series 2014 bonds is authorized, and certain documents incident to such sale and the delivery of the Series 2014 bonds are authorized and approved. The foregoing provisions are intended to be a summary of the ordinance, and reference is hereby made to the full extent of the ordinance for a full and complete statement of its contents. The full text of this ordinance is available for public inspection during the normal City of Frankfort business hours in the office of the City Clerk, 315 West 2nd Street, Frankfort, Kentucky.
Now, can you say that in like 10 seconds or less?
You did pretty well.
You did well, Mayor.
We're going to issue general obligation bonds in the amount of $4,780,000, and we're going to do all appropriate documents for such funds.
You did
10
well.
Sorry, Mayor.
That's okay. I was looking, I was like, where's the summary? She said the first 3 pages. Like, no. Yeah. Okay, so it's had its first reading. And we prepare for
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Well, we don't have to
we don't
approve
need
it,
to
but
approve it.
you can. I mean, it doesn't
Well, we did it.
need it, so I'll look at
Well, what we do
Wait a
need to
minute.
do, what we do need to do is see if there's any changes we have to make, right? The reading.
All those favors signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Okay. First reading is approved. All right.
So we're just approving the readings? We've never done that before.
We didn't have to. I mean, sometimes people have.
Okay.
They just felt the need to move something.
Okay.
So next
There's the
item is
first.
adjournment.
Move adjournment.
Moved by Commissioner Bowers, second by Commissioner Hale. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. We adjourn until 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't second anything else.